Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay. Welcome to Buckingham Parkrun. Now, Buckingham is a place I often stop off on the way to or from my physio in Newport Pagnell, near Milton Keynes Body Limits gym. I see Lisa, Mark or Alex normally. Mark has had a bit of a brain tumour, but apparently he's doing well. So yeah, best of wishes to him and people who know him. So this was an interesting course. I looked at my list and it was just inside the top 100. And so I thought it would be a reasonably quick course, and I thought, well, Buckingham is a place that I've wanted to sort of like explore the park run for a while, and this is kind of over sort of meadowlands. And you can see here I sort of had a reasonable start. I was hoping to break 20 minutes today, just about. I want to do a bit of a solid run after the Bolton 10k, see if I can do a bit better. I think I'm a bit better at 5k at the moment, just for the fact I haven't done enough mileage. And I think traditionally the shorter the race, the better. So you can see at the moment, I was thinking, well, I'm only near the top 10. I was probably around about 15. So there was a guy in the red top there with a buggy went shooting off. And it was quite a lonely park run, this, although it was quite busy at the moment. But yeah, over this opening salvo, it's an interesting course. It goes out in a section for about sort of 5 minutes. There's 2 lollipop loops and then comes back. So it's predominantly flat, but there's a few little tester rises in this first bit. So I put the Insta3 Go metrics on the screen here, and it oddly doesn't have a stopwatch. I think it's because it's just taking GPX files and it doesn't perhaps know when you've actually started. So I've overlaid one. It's quite hard to find a stopwatch without having to pay, but I managed to find one that I downloaded before from the back catalogue. So I've got this in metric, and you can see here that actually it was quite a quick start. I think I did the first mile in about 6:13, spoiler alert. So I was thinking when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's good. I might be able to do a 19-minute park run here. But then equally, when I saw it, I was thinking, oh, Jesus, that's a bit quick. And instantly, I felt like I needed to slow down. I've done that before a lot in track races, especially 800s. When you hear the bell and you think, oh, it's like 55, 56 back in the day. Well, I thought if we do another one, I'll be almost national standard. But inevitably, it was rather slowing. I did once manage to do a 55 something and then a 60 for a 155 8 PB. Anyway, back in the day. So yeah, we turn right here and we're heading out towards this lollipop. And at the moment, I've still got quite a lot of people around me, haven't I? And look at these shoes. I'm not seeing too many super shoes, as it were. I did hear, I thought it was Vaporflies, because you can all seem to tell them because of the fact they're making a lot of noise. But I think some of the people here seem to have like Nova Blasts on or something. But having said that, Nova Blast in a size 9 is probably equivalent to my Vaporfly 2s. Which are about 270 grams. I thought I'd try the Vaporfly 2 today because I think although they're a bit loose, they don't have too much pressure at the back of my Achilles, and being the park run, I don't want to use up my best shoes. I just found some shoes in the back of the car. So I think these are actually the shoes I wore in the BMF 5K. Now, John Broom had an interesting experience later in the day. He did a park run in the morning, and then he did a 5K later on in the afternoon, where apparently he sort of missed the start and he had to sort of rush over to the start. So look forward to that video. But you can see already now I'm sort of hovering around the 4-minute pace. And this guy in the red top, quite a young lad, went past me. And he kept looking around. It was almost like he was thinking, oh, I've just gone past Tim Gross. Is he going to come with me? But then I thought, well, he's a good guy to follow. And I thought, well, these youngsters, sometimes they get a bit enthusiastic, don't they? And go off a bit quick. But somebody overtaking you after 4 minutes almost, you think, well, they're probably quite a good runner, actually. And there's that first K. Well, it's about 350 odd. So yeah, I was certainly motoring in there. This has turned out to be the fastest K of the course. Let me just do a little loop here heading towards this lollipop. We're almost there. The sort of course that if you didn't know where you were going, then you'd probably get lost. You probably would have gone straight on there, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have known. So if you did this as a freedom park run, you might be struggling. Now, what I'm going to do here is a bit of an experiment. Just about to coming up. I'm going to do a split screen thing where I go twice around this lollipop, showing you the whole thing in different screens. This might not work, or it might not, but it cuts down the video a bit. And you can see the 2 different aspect ratios. So here we go. The bottom one is me just carrying on the first lap. And there's a guy in the blue top there who goes straight past me and the red top guy. I don't think I saw the blue top guy again. And I think when I got past the guy in red top, then I ended up in my finishing position of 10th. But on the top view, that is the second lap. Now, because it's a multi-lap course, or this bit is a 2-lap course, then you start overtaking people. So it's kind of trickier on the second lap because you have to do a lot more weaving. And to make this up to a full screen, I've then overlaid the back. I almost ran into the back of a lady walking a dog there, so apologies. I think I just missed her, but I did apologise. And then I've overlaid the opening salvo. So this could get very complicated, but I thought, well, it'd be a way to sort of see the differences between the two. And at the moment, the top left view of the second lap looks quite quiet. And it's interesting that I thought that all the people that were running on their first lap with me on the second would tend to be on the right. And I don't remember them sort of saying that, but it was actually quite sort of civilized because there's been a lot of problems at parkrun, hasn't there, where faster runners often get into trouble from the slow runners who think they're kind of barging through. But you know, ultimately it's everyone's parkrun, and you can see here that there's a nice clear path for me on the left, but I'm overtaking people quite a lot here. Now, you want to sort of see, am I basically at the same place on the bottom left and top left? I think I am more or less. I think, as it turned out, I did these two lollipops within a second of each other. So although I went off a bit quick, I think what it was, I think that first mile was slightly net downhill. So I'll say that because it felt like I was like cruising along quite nicely. And you can see my heart rate here is in the mid 140s. So it's interesting to see different views. Like it started off in the mid 130s when I set off, and then towards the end, that wasn't particularly interesting at the end because once you got past this second lap, then obviously then everyone carried on their second lap who had overtaken. So then it became quite clear again. And I was quite isolated. I think I was about 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds to the person in front, and equally 15, 20 seconds to the person behind. So I was thinking, was I in the top 10? And it was difficult to count the people. In the end, actually, it was interesting because I was only about a minute behind the leaders in the end, which I thought was interesting, but I couldn't really see them. It felt like they were miles away, but sometimes they're deceptive. A minute, actually, in a 5K can look like it's a long way. And the guy in front, as I said, 15, 20 seconds, he looked like well out of view. Now, you can see here that I'm starting to really go past a lot of people here, and there's some buggies there, and occasionally, like then, I just have to nip onto the grass. But it was all quite civilised, apart from nearly bumping into that lady who wasn't actually in the park run. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see all these people, and you do sort of feel a bit odd in terms of going straight past them. But, you know, I'm a 58-year-old running just under 20 minutes. Well, I did actually manage to get 19:57. So I was very pleased with that. My fastest time this year, although I've only done 2 5Ks this year and a 10K. And yeah, so anything under 20 minutes these days, especially in a park run, is good going. I think this one, the surface was quite sort of bumpy. So I did feel that, and with all the weaving, that although it was predominantly flat, I did feel like I was losing a bit, because when you start to get tired, all these sort of bumps and ruts do make it more difficult. It's a bit like a cross country. When you start off in a cross country, you sort of float over the ground for a few minutes, don't you, until it starts catching up with you. And if it was like a multi-lap course, you feel like by the end of the race, like the last lap, all those sort of muddy bits, just sort of like you just sink in them. And it was a bit like that. And you just felt like, you know, I just had to concentrate here and hope I could find a way through all these people and then find my way to the end. So yeah, we're coming on now, 4 minutes 11. So it's about a minute to go, I think, on this loop. And yeah, we did this little left turn past this sort of bin there. So it's almost like a little chicane. So there's a lot of weaving. But yeah, I did enjoy the park run, and it was the warmest day this year. I think it was probably around about 10 degrees. I was just in my Nike singlet, and first time this year I've just been in a singlet. I think no arm warmers or anything. And with the sunshine, you can sort of see me running along. Now, my arms look a bit all over the place, don't they? Sometimes you feel like you're running well, but you know, sometimes you might think, oh, I need to look at my form. And I think we're just coming now towards the end. I think just rounding this bend, we start then to head straight back up to the turn. Now I've already finished there. On the top right is me coming in, and I looked at my watch thinking I think I'm okay for 20 minutes, but sometimes I like to get on Training Peaks and Strava and make sure I get a 5K. So here we go, coming into the finish there, 19:57. I think it's got it pretty much bang on. And then, yeah, it's coming over the line. I think I stopped my watch about a couple of seconds over. And this is the end of the lap. And then that's me again at the end. Oh, that was full on. A bit bumpy, but
Yeah, fairly fast course. I think it was just under 20. I hope so anyway. A lot of effort otherwise. Yeah, we had 19:55, something like that. So I came through and made sure I got to 5k. Right. Oh, yeah. No, it's always good to get these out of the way. Hello.
Just behind you. It's a different.
This one?
It is. Different feeling.
Perfect.
Well done.
Well done.
So what's your name?
Glen.
Glen, yeah. Are you from Buckingham?
I live here now, yeah.
I come on this step. I'm going to be.
Yeah, I haven't done one for a while.
Yeah, well, I always
sort of-
come through Buckingham on the way to, well, not always, but sometimes either way. So sometimes I stop here for a run, but I've never actually done even this area at all. So yeah.
It's a nice one. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice day. Yeah, I looked at my list. I thought that's a fairly fast one. A bit bumpy though, isn't it? And,
It's a bit up and down.
Yeah,
So the start,
yeah.
you're sort of up, down, then
Yeah.
you go for a fast bit, then it levels.
Then you get a bit of traffic, don't you, on the second lap, and then
little
it's
bit.
clear again. And then,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's PB material if for example, you're top 10.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good steady guide as to maybe you can knock a little bit
It's
off.
one of those ones you got like full on all the way because it's like, just a little riser at the start and then turn your legs slightly and think, I overcooked it.
I'm wearing my stride. I know you're not a huge fan, but it's sort of like at the start you can see even though you think you're going slow. I was seeing
Well,
my
you got
wattage.
Alphaflys on today?
Yeah. Thought I'd wear them.
I could hear someone in Alphafly, so it sounded like them.
Sorry?
I could hear someone in Alphafly, so I'm still a Vaporfly fan. So
yeah, I mean I've got them. I've got quite wide feet.
Yeah, have you? Oh, okay, the opposite problem to me.
Vaporfly. I did a marathon once in a Vaporfly.
I found those a bit wide for me.
Yeah.
And these are a bit. Well, this version is probably the widest, but it's sort of like it doesn't have clutch pressure on the back. Then when I've been struggling a bit lately.
It's interesting what they're doing with it, isn't it? 'Cause it's like they've sort of.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck. I haven't actually. I've been trying to get hold of one, but I haven't seen it for sale yet. So I keep
they've
looking.
reduced the stack, haven't they?
Yeah, it's about 35, 36 now, isn't it?
Which is odd given how everything's got massive.
I'll make it lighter, but whether it will.
Marginally though.
Yeah, because they've got the street flow as well, which is going to be ultra quick for like.
Have you tried the 2? Is that out yet?
No, I haven't. I'll be looking out for both of them, but
That looks like that would be your sort of shoe.
Yeah, I think maybe for a mile race or something. I think I still like. I think as I'm getting older and slower, I still prefer a bit more under me now. I think I've got those Adios 9s, and they're all right, but they feel like flats from back in the day, but they're a bit more cushioned, so you don't feel quite as dead-legged afterwards. But you do feel like you're having to do the work rather than getting too much bounce back. So
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting. You're still on the one. If you did a marathon tomorrow, would they be what you would wear?
Well, I've done 3 marathons all in the one. So I've got one pair that I've got off StockX, which I've only done like two short races in. So yeah, I've kind of gone off the marathon a bit. I think I'm 60 in about a year and a half, so I might think about it again then.
It's hard, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a runner by trade. I used to play football. I've just started playing football again after 20 years, and it's interesting how, like, I played last night, and I'm a bit,
Yeah, I'd Friday off, but sometimes I have a day off, I feel stiffer on the morning, especially with a long drive. So
but it's just such a good day to come out.
Yeah, I'm not much of a morning person. I'm always glad that when I've done a part and then I've done it, then I don't need to do any more running that day.
I think you need to sometimes leave your ego at home and just enjoy the run. Because you're not always going to do, especially as you get older.
Well, I used to sort of like being potential. I used to have a lot of firsts or seconds, and now I think it's my first top 10 for a good while. And he looked around and think I had to work for that. There was one lad came past me, and then he died a bit, so I got past him. Then I was in a bit of a gap, so I thought, okay, I looked around, there was no one there. Then there was a guy boggy in front, I thought, he's well out. That was tough with the weaving with that boggy. He must be used to the course though. But
what did you do today? Was it sub 20?
It was right on. I think I stopped my watch slightly late, hopefully. So I stopped my watch at 20:03, but I think I was through the line. Yeah, it may be touch and go, but
that's really decent.
Yeah,
really decent.
I had a 20 dead about a year ago. That really annoyed me because it was one of those ones. It was like tougher up and then coming back. So I was looking at my watch, thinking, "Oh, how much more do I need to accelerate?"
Good turnout.
Psychological. It's always nice to get a sub 20.
No, well, you're still doing the YouTube stuff, still enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's nice that you're doing some things, I think, beyond shoe reviews, because I think shoe reviews are so specific to your type of shoe and your size.
Well, it's also the fact,
whose view of shoes is similar to mine.
I mean, you're like got wide feet and a bit smaller.
I mean, these aren't my favourite, but I just thought I'd try them today. But
when I got to know Andy, the FOD runner quite well, but even he, even the same size, he's a lot bigger than me physically. And he's a lot faster than me because he's 20 years younger. I mean, if I took my clock back 20 years ago, I'd have been neck and neck with him in races. But now it's sort of looking at things from a different perspective. Yeah.
Are you going to get the Endorphin Elite 2s that look ridiculously soft?
I got a pair, and I don't know, I might send them back because they're a bit short, and the upper, they would probably suit you better actually. The upper's like a booty upper, but there's no padding in the tongue at all.
Right.
So it kind of like, it's a bit like a sock, it either fits you or it doesn't. So having pulled in the laces, they're now getting a lot of bunching. And it feels a bit short anyway, so I haven't actually running them yet. I'm debating whether to actually...
well, the thing is, it's a lot of money.
Well, this is it. I got 15% off with the England Athletics discount, but even so, it's still 240 quid. And
I mean, one thing...
Well, I was going to wear them today, but I thought, oh, no, I need to do a test run in them, even if I do them. Yeah.
One thing I don't know if you've used it, because I know you were selling a lot of, getting rid of a lot of shoes. Have you used Vinted?
I've done eBay, I haven't done Vintage yet.
Have a look at that, because I've started to use it. I got these on there.
Oh, did you?
For 50 quid.
Yeah.
And because I don't...
So how does it work if you're a buyer then? Do you just get like is it on an auction or is it like just a buy now thing?
It's just a deal with the seller, but you can bid on it. You can say, will you take X? And there's a buyer protection, which is usually about £5, including postage.
Yeah.
And some of the prices people are selling new with tax, plus they're selling like worn, and some people I mean, you have to look at them. Some people say I've done 150 miles. There's a pair of it.
Well, they look quite new.
Well, they were 50 quid.
Okay.
So I thought,
and how many miles have they supposedly done?
Well, they've said about 150.
Okay.
But I think there might be a slight issue with one of the pods.
Okay.
But to be fair, I'm not doing sort of sub-3 marathons. So
yeah. Well, I mean, if they work for you,
quite nice.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah.
But they had
I've had
Elite ones. Exactly. Someone was selling with 150 miles for about 50 quid.
Oh, okay.
And I wondered whether they were worth a go. I don't know how durable.
I've got I need to have a bit clear out shoes. I keep buying them, and then much to my wife's annoyance.
You've got a whole shed of them.
I've got a whole shed of them. Yeah, I'm trying to squirrel them away either in the car or the shed. But I kind of run out of room for them. There's quite a few now that I just won't wear again. So.
Have a look, because I think you'll probably find that people. And they started advertising on.
I sold about 8 pairs on eBay about a year ago and got about enough money for another pair back, so it was kind of worth it.
But there aren't any fees for the buyer.
Oh, really?
Other than the buyer protection.
Yeah.
And I think.
Well, do they take a cut of the price then? Or?
With sellers, so people can bid you if you've had something on there.
How do they make any money then if there's no fee? For the buyer.
So there's no fee for the buyer. There's buyer protection. I don't think there are sellers' fees, although I haven't sold anything, so you'd have to look into it. I think they do deals, but it's worth looking into because I think
they take a percentage of eBay. So if you got like a really low value item, you end up sort of getting almost nothing back. So you usually you put the postage on and then. But you do that at cost because you're still going to send it whatever, and that'll be like 4 quid or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can't really then not send it that way, can you? That would cheat, So I usually send it recorded, so in case someone claims they didn't get it. Yeah. I did say one was a shoe somebody once, and then they said, can you send it to this place? And it never got recorded as being delivered, but I never complained. So I thought, fuck it, I got the money, Up to you.
Okay, do what you can do.
Yeah, anyway, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, all the best.
Yeah, cheers. Okay, an old Ford for my next shoe testing, perhaps. Bit of old railway in Buckingham. It heads back to the station that way, the old station that is, and you can run up there. So let's have a look, see what you see. So here we are, I've come up those steps there and love the old bridge here. And then if we swing around, there's another old bridge there heading back towards the old station. So it's about a mile you can run through Buckingham. I think it's a course record. Won't be able to take that one today. I think it's a bit beyond me now as well. Probably needs about a 5-minute mile. Anyway, let's have a look down here on the road where we were a minute ago. That's Bath Road down there. And then we come this way. Amazing the infrastructure, isn't it? They're the steps I came up there. Yeah, fascinating these old railways. The amount of effort they must have gone in to make them, and then been dormant for what, 60 years? About as old as me now. Amazing. Here's the next bridge down. This one's even longer, I think. And here we are at the site of Buckingham Old Station. And there's a nice little name board here. And this actually cobbled street basically was the platform. So I'll show a close-up of that, but you can see here that this is the edge of the platform and it sort of extended into the fenced-off area there. You got this nice little uneven section there with a big tree as well. So yeah, always get some good row in. So if you found this interesting, like and subscribe with that, and see you next one then. Bye. That was the second bridge that I went over the top of. Impressive structure, isn't it?